Hey, actor friends, it's Michael Kostroff. You know that. This week, I want to talk about how to manage when you have not a lot of time to prepare. Um, as you all know, we have this clause now in our SAG contract that requires them to give us 48 hours notice, and I think you all know how I feel about that. I think that's dumb, but because it's based on the idea that that they would otherwise withhold it from us when they have the materials available. But that be that as it may, there are circumstances where you don't have a lot of time. Maybe you have a busy week. Maybe they've given you several days to prepare, but you're all booked up. You're working nonstop. Uh, or some other circumstance happens, in spite of this clause, there are some times when they just don't have 48 hours to offer you. And that's what it is. I'm going to share some things with you that might seem really obvious, but these are exactly the things that I say to myself under those circumstances. The first is just a reminder of the complete lack of value in angst or resentment or complaining or worrying. They're all respectable responses to the situation, but what they don't do is get you closer to being prepared for your audition. Um, no amount of bitterness or resentment against what has happened uh, will uh, enable you to time travel and create more time to prepare. You will still have, after you bitch and moan, you'll still have the same amount of time to prepare. So, as obvious as that is, sometimes saying to myself, "Okay, all right, well, these are the circumstances we have. Let's not waste the time that we have bitching and moaning or being, freaked out." Um, Believe it or not, that little talk with myself tends to help. Um, and I also want to remind you, because I don't believe that there are necessarily rules and patterns in our career. I don't think it's mathematical. The amount of time that you have to prepare doesn't necessarily correlate with the quality of the audition or your chances of booking a job. More prep time does not necessarily mean you'll be more in the running for the part or that you'll be more satisfied with your work. None of those things. There are a lot of other factors, like sometimes you read it and you're like, oh, I get this person. This fits like a glove, or it's a no-brainer. And some require a lot more thought. But regardless, just recognize that that's only in our own mythology that we think, well, if I don't have 2 weeks to prepare, I'm screwed. Or if I don't have whatever amount of time to prepare, I'm screwed. That's a story that you've told yourself. It's not really mathematically true. Um, I've sometimes done my best work when I had no time to prepare. Hear me now. This is not saying that I negate the value of preparation. Not at all. I describe myself as a lazy actor. I don't do a lot, and I guess that's just my way of working or whatever. But, or maybe I'm so quick at my work that it doesn't even feel like a lot of time. Regardless, um, I know people who have sort of a ritualistic approach where it's like I have to do this and this and this and this. It's really a valid experiment to go, what if I don't do those things? Because we get so attached. Like if I don't, you know, write it out and do the certain things and create a backstory and write a journal, then I'm screwed. It will be terrible. That's not always true. Um, and my mantra that I live by: you're not getting the fucking job. This hasn't ruined your chances. What's ruined your chances is there are too many actors, so you're probably not going to get it. Take the pressure off. It really does help. Um, and the other thing is, if you've been doing this a while, at what point do you just say, well, this is what I do? This is not some cross your fingers, hope it works magic trick. This is not, let me dive off a cliff. This is what we do as actors. I'm trying to do this with myself and go, this isn't like maybe I'll be able to, maybe I won't. If you work at a dry cleaners and somebody brings in a shirt, you don't think, fingers crossed, hope I can clean this shirt today. That's what you do. That's what you do. It's your profession, you know? And I think we do this to ourselves. We think every audition or every task is an opportunity for utter failure and proof that we never could act in the first place or whatever, that it's going to slip out from under us. And I want to encourage you to try to think of your talent and your skill as not necessarily that tenuous that it's going to abandon you. And less prep time is when you kind of get to go, all right, all right, this calls for an expert. That's me. Here we go. SWAT team, I'm going to fix it for you. So I have learned to relish those challenges. Just going back for 1 second about the wasting time with anxiety. I had a job once, and I may have told you this story before, where I got to the set and the script was completely different. I sort of knew it was going to be because they'd been really disorganized. They had hired me at 5 p.m. the night before, after telling us for days and days and days the offer was coming. So I went, it's probably going to be different. Anyway, I got to this, and I opened the script, and instead of going, fuck, how the hell am I supposed to do this, blah, 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 I got my coffee, and I went, okay, all right, let's see what we do. This is what I do. Let's see. Okay, that one's the same. Great. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, now let me see if I can learn this. And I was fine. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Do we have to restart takes? Yes. That's normal in television and filmmaking. So, but what I did not do is say, well, I just got this morning. No, this is where I get to be a pro. I got through it. I'm not saying that I instantly memorized it. It was, full of medical jargon and stuff, but we managed. But I was glad that I had learned not to waste time just going, how am I supposed to do this? And call my agent, or, all that stuff is such a waste of time. Because what you really don't want is for any resentment or anxiety about the lack of time to leak into your work. Because it really can become evident. You can feel it on the other side of the camera if you're pissy about it, or if you are, thinking it's already doomed for disaster. You don't want that to leak into your work, unless those feelings apply to the character, in which case you've been given a gift. Don't miss the gift that you were given of your own anxiety or resentment if it applies to the scene. I had a coaching client who came in one day, and I said, how are you? She goes, I'm fucking terrible. I said, why? She goes, well, my agents had this on Thursday. Did they send it to me? No. They wait till Tuesday when the audition is tomorrow. That's when they send me the fucking sides. I'm so fucking sick of this just stupid ass business. I said, okay, what's the character? She goes, she's this woman who curses like a truck driver and is pissed off with the world. I said, oh, yeah? She goes, yeah, I know. I said, I just want you to tell me about that using the words in the scene. And it was magically good, because instead of hiding what she was going through, she poured it into the scene. That's a whole other video. But anyway, but yeah, that's and the other thing I want to say to you is this. When I was teaching acting class, I found that the words I used the most was slow down. Not only in the performing, but in the process. And if you have less time, slow down more. What I mean is, make sure you really are reading through that text, not missing anything, reading every word of the stage directions, stopping to think. It only takes a few seconds, or maybe a minute or two. Stop to think, so to make sure you really know what's going on and you really know what your objective is, and that you can switch into the lane where you are a character pursuing an objective rather than an actor just trying to get this thing over with. It's very hard to do that, but just like I did on set that day, I went and got my coffee and I went, okay, let's go slow. It actually will make for better preparation that will save you time on the other end. So listen, I think some of us are a little bit addicted to bitterness. We're looking for things to complain about and be victimized by. And the fact is, if you have less time to prepare an audition, nobody's victimizing you. They got it late. Somebody added a character at the last minute, which happens in television. Or they lost an actor. I mean, it doesn't matter why. The idea that they're trying to mess with you is so crazy that I think we got to work on that. Give me your thoughts. I love to hear your thoughts. If you disagree, that's always good, because I want to hear it, because then we have interesting conversations about that. And listen. If you like these videos I do every week, share them with people. I don't get anything from them. I just like to help. So if that is helpful, then spread the word. And I'll see you next week.